So if you guys didn't know, blew my transmission up last Friday. So it's been a week and 1 day since it all went down. And we were going back and forth on all the different options, A10 swap, going with a turbo 400, doing a power glide, we looked at all the options, what it would cost, how fast we could turn it around, what would be the long-term implications, etc., etc. And we decided, and I should say, there was also some valid input from really good guys that I follow and trust, and that are also racing 6th gen Camaros that are currently sitting in the top slots of the fastest cars out there, working with some of the best tuners, working with some of, the best parts and pieces out there. And we're not quite there yet. I mean, we have all the puzzle pieces, but we haven't gone to the track to actually lay down some times. And it really came down to cost, time, and effort. So first off, GM is back ordered on A8 transmissions. They have 72 requested in production, and they're all spoken for currently. So my dealership and quite a few other dealerships that I talked with said it's probably going to be 3+ months, maybe even 6 months before you see actual A8 available, brand new transmissions available. And Modern EFI was a company I reached out to, and they're like, wait, you probably don't need a new transmission. He's like, send me some photos of exactly what happened, of what the transmission looks like, and we can go from there. He's like, I'm pretty sure we can fix and rebuild what you have and then build it back up even better. And I'm like, okay, sure, let's see what happens here. So we went down the path. I worked with Modern EFI, or Steven Rankins, who is a well-known gentleman within the Camaro community for racers that are people that are pushing the A8 setups as fast as they can. If you guys don't know, 6th gen Mike currently holds the 6th gen record at 8, I believe it's 8.4. He's running a built A8 transmission from Steve Rankins as well. And that's kind of the thing that kind of tipped me over to the point of, we should go this route. It's going to be cheaper and we'll have a stronger A8 transmission. And it's been proven there's guys on the track running these trans without issue. So yeah, so we reached out to Steve. We literally pulled the transmission, as you saw in the last video, the day after the dyno. And on Sunday, Maple fed, if you guys don't know Maple on Instagram, or Kyle, who usually hangs out Lethal Garage, he lives a lot closer to Chatsworth, which is where Steve is at. So he actually drove it up. He was at my house, or he was down in Temecula on Saturday. He took it in his truck, drove it up there. And Steve, or Steven, I don't know if he likes Steve or Steven, so I'm just gonna say Steven because that's his full name, or Modern EFI. He jumped right on it. And first and foremost, I can't even thank him enough for that. I didn't ask him for it. I didn't beg him for it. I didn't ask him for a special deal. I didn't offer to pay more money. He's just like, bring it up, I'll check it out. Literally Sunday it was dropped off. He was sending me photos of the clutch packs, which he ripped it, tore it all down like the day it got there, and kept me posted the whole way. And we ran into well, I shouldn't say we ran into issues, but we found issues within the transmission that we don't know exactly what could have caused it. Could have been early converter, could have been because of the damage, caused some issues, but overall, the clutch, and I got photos, so it's not just gonna be talking headpiece the whole time. So here's how the clutch packs looked. I'm gonna just insert these here over me talking, and you can see they're pretty burned up. He's like, they're not completely terrible, but they're not great either. And knowing how much power and what we've done with this car and what we've requested of this transmission, I'm not shocked. But nice thing is they're all getting replaced, all rebuilt, additional clutch packs put in place to eliminate any potential slip. Now, I never ran into slip issues, but that's also probably because I was never at the power level that some of these other guys are at, or were. I mean, I think we're there now, or will be there, but hopefully that will eliminate any potential slip we'll run into. But the other side of it is there was some wear on, what did he call it? Your bushing. So on the oil pump drive gear bushing, there was some odd wear, and he believes it was because the stator was out of position, like literally by 0.10 millimeters or inches, or I don't know how he put that measurement, but you could see it looks like a little gear on the stator support, and it was just pushed out ever so slightly. And I'll put the image here of it, and he didn't like the way that looked, and he's like, I don't I don't know if there's something the matter with the support or what, so we just replaced all those parts as well to make sure that we had a properly built, and just anything that looked wrong, replace it with new, make it look good, and good to go. And there was some awkward wear on the inside of the main shell from definitely looks like a converter. Either it ballooned or something happened. We don't know for sure. Our FTI converter looks perfectly fine. There's no issues that we saw there. So not sure if it was the Circle D that we previously had in there or what, but I don't remember seeing those marks when we pulled it off the last time. So it's not sure. So if things moved around when things exploded, we just don't know. But all things being stated, he went over every nut and bolt, everything in the transmission, and built it back up to brand new. So here's some pictures of the inside of the shell, completely gutted with all the different stages from basically the bottom baskets all the way back up. So you can kind of check these out. And again, it's like just the craftsmanship, the work, you could tell he went through and cleaned everything out, looking really good. And honestly, the transmission fully built in the back of my truck looks better than it did probably coming off the GM line. So huge shout out to Stephen Rakins at Modern EFI. If you guys are ever looking for transmission work or getting your transmission built or anything like that, check him out. He's a proven name, proven brand in the racing industry or racing scene, you can say, and a lot of guys are running his stuff. So, and he cares, you know, he's definitely kept me up to date, definitely walked me through all the stuff. And one thing he flagged really quick is the way that the transmission's built. You got to be careful when doing burnouts because you don't want to be changing gears because of the extra clutch packs. It can cause the baskets to blow out. So there's a few things that I have to do different as a driver's side, because normally I would just start my burnouts in first gear and then shift up into second. But he's saying just shift into second, manual mode, get it in there, do your burnout, roll out forward. It's fine if it drops down. He's like, but if it starts trying to upshift during a burnout, you can cause problems in a built transmission. So just something to flag and highlight there. It does change the characteristics and the abilities of the transmission. So, you know, I've been talking a lot here. So we're gonna drive back to the Lethal Garage. I'll show you what the transmission looks like built. It looks just like the normal transmission we pulled out, but with every part intact instead of shredded. And Kyle's been just cruising with me today, hanging out. So he's happy. I got him Starbucks. Was that good?
Yeah.
We were totally basic today. We made it to Red Barn Racing, got the transmission out of the truck. Look at this brand new pretty thing looking all nice. Remember? I can show you the before of what that looked like. It was not pretty, but it looks way better now. So Modern EFI, or Stephen Rankins. I don't know if he goes by Steve, but we'll go with Modern EFI for now, or Mr. Rankins. I'll have to ask him next time I see him how he wants to be referred as. But he got this bad boy flipped around really quick, full rebuilt. So it's got extra clutch packs, everything's new. He went through everything as we discussed in the video earlier, looking ready to go. So now it's back in Red Barn's hands to get it into the car, to hopefully make it to Redless. And it's funny because my transmission broke on the dyno and these guys decided to also break their transmissions. So it's like a train of Camaro tranny lines. I don't even know. I don't even know what I'm talking about. So transmission's done. We got to get that in the car. The current things that we're waiting on right now is the drive shaft. I was able to find a DSS chromoly shaft at Texas, or in Texas, Dedicated Motorsports. Huge shout out to them. They actually had one on the shelf waiting for me to get a hold of them. So it seems like no one else has them. DSS is like 4 weeks to 3 months out, depending on what you order. So I'm glad we didn't have to go down that route. I also got in touch with BMR, ordered brand new drive shaft loop, and then I went through GM, got a new cross member brace and stuff. They actually have that now. I need to go pick it up, bring it over here. But it sounds like early next week, we should have everything we need to put back in. Oh, also Carlisle Racing, I got new rotors and brake pads for the Willwood brake setup for my 15-inch conversion. Just because of all of the sparks and evilness, it didn't look right. So I'm gonna replace that, make sure everything's 100% ready for race day. Because the goal is to get out to Famoso for the Redless event and run some good times. So I'm hoping we get up there. Obviously the car's not fully dialed in. When we're on the dyno, Mike was able to dial in all the fueling, get everything ready, but he didn't get any timing back into the car while we were there because the transmission exploded. So we had 14 points of timing. And again, we have no idea what numbers it made on the dyno, unfortunately, because one, it didn't have timing in it, so it wasn't really making all of the power, but we'll be able to tie in how fast the car is going on the slips when we run. Hopefully we get some good launches and some good times, and that should give you an idea of how much horsepower the car is probably making. So that's where we're at currently. Mike's got some work ahead of him. It looks like he's got a lot of work ahead of him, honestly. And a couple people mentioned in the last video, hey, that orange car looks beautiful. It does. This is actual Mike's 68. It's been going through hiatus and rebuilds. One day you'll get to it. It's not his. But yeah, it's got the big, huge motor in it. I can't wait to see this car back out. So he'll get there. He'll get there sooner than later. But yeah, Lethal is currently still hover car. And we'll get her put back together and get the track and finally see what this car can do full tilt. So I think we'll be pushing what, over 20 some odd pounds of boost. I guess we'll see in the logs, see what it's actually making when we let it all settle out with the right pulley and everything in place. We'll see. The goal is to retain the fastest 6th gen Camaro Whipple record. Whatever that is. I know it's a micro record, but you know what? I'm gonna get it. That's all I got. Till next time, guys. See you on the road.